Welcome to my little space where heart and hook stitch up a place where we can together make a refuge safe for all our sake. I got something in the mail and I thought we could open it together. So my customer sorry if you can hear my dog eating right now. My customer that I made that Flower of Life Faye vest for in the last chapter that was all teals and purples. She is a maker herself and she does work with stones and beads, like pendants, that kind of thing. And she messaged me and asked if we could do a barter. Now, I have a sliding scale, choose your own price kind of system. And not only did she pay me above my bottom price, which I never expect anybody, I'm not upset with you if you pay me bottom price. So she already was paying me above bottom price, and she asked if she could also send me one of the things that she makes. So she makes pendants, and I chose one from the ones that she already had made, because I felt like that was really sweet and generous, and I'm excited. I love having handmade things, especially, if I meet the person, even if it's just virtually. So anyway, I already took out the card. I already read the card, but in the card, she has a whole bunch of stickers and they're so pretty. So I thought I would show them off. I'm going to put her links so you can go follow her on her various platforms. I'll put the links to her in the description box. But how cute is this? Like a little camping one. I'm just going to go through them because they're so pretty. What is that? Like a hedgehog. That's a hedgehog. The sun watches what I do, but the moon knows all my secrets. Look how pretty these are. Do you design these yourself? Or do you just find the art and print them? These are so pretty. This is like, I think it's jellyfish. Look how sparkly. That moon. Kitty cat with roses. Crystals. Wow. The beetle. More crystals. More crystals with flowers. These are really pretty stickers. I don't know what to do with them. So that was really sweet of you. Thank you. Thank you for the thank you card and the stickers. And I haven't opened this one yet, so I wanted to do it together. It has a witch hat. How cute is that? Okay. How many times am I going to say cute? Kind of don't want to rip the sticker. Ugh. Okay. Whoa, what pretty packaging. Okay, I will definitely be repurposing the little baggie. It's just occurred to me that I'm going to start putting it out there as like a thing about my shop and what I do, that I'm no waste. Because I actually have been no waste with my craft for a long time. And it just never occurred to me to like say that, market myself as a no waste artist. And there are various ways that I utilize my scraps. It says magic mail. I'm feeling the magic vibes already, girl. Totally feeling it. Okay, so this I'm thinking I'm definitely going to include with my accessories for some of my upcoming spooky season photo shoots that are inevitably going to be happening. Oh my gosh, it's even bigger in person, and oh my goodness. It's a moonstone. Let's see if we can get, oh, there, I think we can get some detailing there, detail showing there of this stone itself. And look at all the beading she does. Ooh, if I turn it to the side there, look at the iridescent quality of it. I love that. Oh, that's so nice. It's a nice cord too. Thank you. Go check out her stuff. Buy some of her stuff. This is really nice. I love it. With a fair amount of space around my house that needs some yard work, I decided to break it up over the next few days. So here I am prepping this bit of grass to mow by raking leaves out onto the grass so that I can go over it with the mower. And you may be able to tell by the angle of the sun that I like to get out here early in the morning before it gets very hot. So that's one reason why I like to break it up, because by the time I finish one little section, it's usually starting to get pretty warm, and I'd rather not be out here in the heat. I'm a sensitive flower. This tree drops a lot all the time, so I actually had to rake into piles and get rid of those piles before mowing. However, once I started the mower, the battery died. So I think the battery didn't have a full charge before I started, so I ended up having to cut this section short, and I came back the next morning and didn't record finishing mowing that section. But I thought I'd show you this little nook that's at the corner of this grassy area that I just mowed. Under these bushes, there's this, I think of it as a sitting rock, and somebody or something is regularly eating pistachios, because look, there's pistachio shells on the ground, and just about every time I'm out here to rake this area, there are more. So I bet some squirrels have some sort of hookup for pistachios. There are pistachio trees around, so it's probably that. And I just wanted to show you how my cat sleeps with her paw over her face. Well, my first project for this week is making a custom look-alike doll of this little girl. So I thought I'd show you some of me doing the embroidery. All right, so I've got part of her face installed. She's got the plastic safety eyes, which do have the backs on them. I've already embroidered her nose and her little smile line, the little V-shaped mouth. And so now I'm going to show you how I do the embroidery for the eyes. Lately, I've been doing this design as a new option for my dolls. In like the past year or so, I've been doing plastic safety eyes with embroidery around to get all the detailing that I want. So I start with an eye color, the color that I want for the actual iris. And I like to do this before, as you can see, when I still have my work open and before stuffing. It's just easier that way. I don't have to worry about hiding the yarn ends and stuff at the end. So it's sometimes easier to just go all the way to the back and stitch through. So with the eye color, I start at the very top right above the eye, the plastic eye, and then I go down to the side, and sometimes I have to wriggle to get my needle in where I want it. See, I have to like maneuver around the backs. I've thought about not putting in the backs before doing this, but I kind of like the eye to be secure in there where it's gonna sit. And then I stitch around it. So I just do this little sort of a V shape on the outside edge, around the outside edge of the eye, the plastic eye. And I pull it, you know, slightly taut, but not super tight, because I don't want to bury the yarn deep or anything. So that looks good. And then I will take this over and do the other side, mirroring it. And then, oops, I take off my yarn needle, and maneuvering around the little posts of the safety eyes, I tie the ends off together in a square knot. And I know in a previous chapter I said I don't use square knots. What I meant was I don't use square knots in garments and then just trim them short like that. I will do it inside because with a garment it's going to have a lot of movement, and that could easily come undone. But inside of a doll's head, that is way secure enough. So that's what we have so far. It looks cute, right? But we're not done. So now I'm going to take some white to do the white part of the eyes. And for this, so for the iris, I go from top to the outside edge to the bottom. Top, outside edge, bottom. And then for the white part, I start about halfway down this line. And I do usually 3 stitches, like 1, 2, and 3. And my third one comes to this bottom inside corner. So I do kind of a big C shape from this corner to this corner. All right. And I just keep it as close as I can right on the outside of that eye color. And by doing 3 stitches now, it kind of helps it to curve around a little bit. Okay. And sometimes I have to do it and then undo it and redo it a little bit, because I find that it can be finicky if you don't get just the right placement in any of these the parts of the face. If I don't get just the right placement for like the eyes versus the nose and the mouth, it can look funky. So symmetry is important, and it's hard to be perfectly symmetrical when you have all the stitches that are, say, like at a diagonal, and then you have increases and decreases, so you're not working with a perfect grid on these. There's the second line of the white. And then this one, I want it right around this bottom inner corner area. And I want to get as close to the plastic here as I can. So I have to maneuver around the plastic backing. Perfect. That's what I like. Okay. So see, now we've got the white going around, a big C shape basically. And then I'm going to come around to the bottom inner corner of this eye. And I don't, just so you know, when you bring the yarn across the inside of the work like this, you don't want to pull it up and pull it super snug, because you're not trying to, like, you know, cinch the eyes in together. That's not what we want. That's good there. So I just bring it loosely to that side, making sure that this is not getting snugged. Okay. And I don't know if you have ever, if you've never done this kind of embroidery, for some reason, as you stitch, the twist in whatever you're working with starts to come undone. So it starts, like, I'm untwisting it now. See how that looks coming out of the work right there, how the plies are coming apart because the twist is going away. So that just happens naturally as you're embroidering. So as I'm embroidering, I'm oftentimes just adding twist back in by twisting it that way. So this is the twist you need to do to, like, put that twist back in. And as you can see, now it's looking fine. None of this is exact science. I'm trying to get around I'm trying to get exactly 3 stitches that somewhat curve around these 2 stitches. And in doing so, I feel like I can snug that a little bit there. In doing so, it kind of rounds out that V shape that I initially stitched in the brown as well. As you can see, another tip is that I kind of hold the yarn down because I want it to be on the outside of that brown. You can kind of finagle with it until you get the placement you like. And now I want to go about midway in the middle of, kind of want to snag. Sometimes it can make all the difference whether you're going through, there we go, did you hear that? Whether you're going through a hole in between stitches or whether you snag some of the yarn from the stitches around it for placement of the embroidery you're doing. All right, that to me looks good. The white around them looks good. It helps the brown to pop against, instead of having it just against the skin color. There we go. And especially it helps to pop when I'm making a doll with darker skin. And then you have something separating the dark brown for the eye and the brown whatever shade of the skin. The white in the middle just makes the eyes pop more. I'll take off my needle. Wait, where's the other end? There's the other end. There we go. And I'll snip that. And then, let's see. So next, I'm going to use black. And I'm going to do a lash line. So for this one, I'm going to start right on the inside, halfway down the eye, and then go up and down. So this is the line of stitches right here that the eyes are pushed through. So I'm going to go from this corner through this hole here in a straight stitch up to here, and then another straight stitch down to here. So it's just going to be a V of 2 stitches. That's how I'm going to start. And I like to bring this up just a little bit to the right, or to the outside, I should say, of where the white is stitched. I don't want it super close necessarily because I'm trying to elongate that line a little bit of the eye. So like that. And I'm also not trying to cover up too much of the stitching I've already done. So that looks good. Something like that. I'm kind of adjusting the tension of these stitches as I go till it's the way I like. It is covering up the brown a little bit there, but it's not too much. Okay, so then I'm going to do 3 stitches to indicate little bits of lash. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So these first 2 are both going to be coming from this point like this. So 1 straight to the side, 1 up at an angle, and then my 3rd one I'll come up a little bit here and do like a little 3rd one there. Okay, so just a tiny bit up from where the other ones are coming. If I go too far, it just doesn't look so good. Let's see if that's... Sometimes I think it's going to be perfect, and then sometimes it looks funky to me. There. We'll do the same thing on the other side. I have it open on both ends so I can kind of hold it from different places if I need to. Then I'm going to go a little bit to the outside here. That's good. Notice, see, I'm going in between, like through the stitch. You have to be careful to decide whether you're gonna, it's gonna be a good position to go through a hole between stitches or through the actual material of the stitches. If you want nice looking embroidery. Now I'll go a little bit out this way, through the body of a stitch again, to get the first little bit of lashes that stick out the side. Let's see if I can just... It doesn't always work to go down and up in one movement like that, but sometimes you can. That looks good. And then, I'm going to bring it to the back again and contemplate this last one. I feel like this last lash is always the trickiest to get. So really close to that initial corner, but just barely above. And there we have the eyes. And now I'll take off my needle again and I'll tie off these ends. Okay, I realize I could have left the brown not fastened off yet because I have eyebrows to do still in brown. So I have the end of my yarn strand here. So for the eyebrows, I'm going to start just around above the inner corner of the eye. And I'll see, maybe I kind of plan it out beforehand. If I want to start in the middle of a stitch or in the hole. I think, and sometimes I do this with my needle to get a sense of, if I start in the middle of this stitch and I start in that hole, that looks symmetrical for where to start the eyebrows. So I'll start in the middle of this stitch, and this is basically from the top of the eye, 1, 2 whole rows above, but from where the eyes are actually put in, it's 1, 2, 3 3 rows above. So I'll come out from here. I think I have enough of this strand to do both eyebrows. Okay, so I'm going to go 2 stitches over, and since I'm in the middle of a stitch, I'll go to the middle of the next 2 stitches over. Straight line, and then I'm going to do a little diagonal. Maybe there, or maybe there. Split the difference. Oh, there. Okay. That looks good. And then I'll bring this over to the other side, and I'll go through the actual hole in between stitches. And since I'm there, I will go 1, 2 holes to the left, and I can just bring this down, I think, right here. I think that'll be good evenly. So I can check it. So if I go like that, does that look about the same? I'm going to go back. I don't want to go through the hole. I want to go through a little bit of the stitching here. I think that'll be better right there. To me, that makes a difference. There. Okay. There's her face. It'll look better, obviously, when it's stuffed. And she'll have ears and a body as well. Okay. There we go. And now I can stitch up the top of her head. I wanted to do a fit check. I've got my new necklace on. You can really see the iridescence right now. Thrifted sweater, romper, hand-me-down from my mom, leggings, and to top off the outfit, St. Patrick's Day socks. We are not anywhere near St. Patrick's Day, but I used to, on occasion, buy those different sort of holiday socks, novelty socks at Joann, whenever they would go on sale, because they always had, sales going for the previous holiday themed socks. And I would always buy them for my kids. I would bring them home. I'm like, look, fun socks, right? Kids go through socks like crazy. And then I recently had them go through their drawers and get rid of stuff that's not fitting anymore or that they just don't use. And there were a bunch of new pairs of these holiday themed novelty socks that they don't want to wear at all. Not even at those holidays times. So why not? If I'm just going to walk around the house, I can kick it in St. Patrick's Day socks or Valentine's or Easter at any time of the year. This is your weekly reminder that I'm still making a Nana every week, a totally new one and a totally unique one every week, and I've been doing so since Trump was elected. As you can see, this is number 41, and this is Nana Aurora, named after the singer Aurora, and I'm selling them in my shop, and the proceeds of these go to the ACLU. I will be making those donations myself whenever I sell any of these. I have a bunch available in my shop, so please go check it out. This is my series, Nanas Against Trump and Fascism. I didn't record any of this crocheting, but here are the progress pictures of this doll being made. All right, for the second morning in a row, I've gone out and picked a spot of the yard to rake and mow. I forgot to start recording this when I was raking out the garden section in the middle there, so you just see me around the edges. But as far as I'm concerned, it's officially fall because there was a significant amount of leaves on the ground. Good morning, friends. My to-do list is starting to get a little bit long, so I haven't been recording segments while making this doll after you saw me working on the face. And so I just thought I'd pop on here, do a quick little recap of what I've done. As you can see, she has everything she needs except for her hair. And if you notice, she does look a little bit balding in the front, and that's on purpose because I'm going to crochet a little piece to go across here and then embroider some strands over it to look like bangs. And then she's going to get strands of hair in the back, and on each side they'll be gathered in like two pigtails with pink bows, and then I'll be done with her. But I wanted to kind of blast through this doll last night. When I take video segments, it just adds so much more time to my work because I have to take the video segment and then I have to edit it and then I have to save it to Patreon. By the way, I am posting all my video clips on Patreon as I take them, and then I plug them into my editing app. So if you want to join my Patreon, I don't have any paid subscribers yet. I have 2 unpaid subscribers, but if you want to see the video clips I'm taking ahead of time before it goes into a video for every Tuesday, you could join my Patreon. I'll celebrate you if you're my first patron there. But anyway, all that to say, all the recording and editing takes a good amount of time. And right now, I just wanted to focus on getting this done so I can send her in the mail probably tomorrow, along with that vest that you saw me making in last week's video for my customer who sent me this gorgeous, gorgeous pendant. I can see the iridescence from here. Thank you again. I love it. And when I get something new, I kind of want to wear it all the time. Some sort of new jewelry. And obviously I'm just wearing it over my A. That doesn't bother me. And I have big earrings, so I'm probably over accessorized today, but that's okay. I do my thing. Oh, and like my clothes, I told you about my closet organization, how I have a rotation of my clothes. I also have a dangly earrings rotation. So I have them hanging on 3 different hangers. I have enough dangly earrings. I have them on 3 different hangers. And every day I just go grab the next pair in line. And then I just go through one hanger and then I go through the next hanger and then I just go through all my earrings. And yeah, pretty much any earrings I wear, I feel like they look great with any outfit I have. If something really doesn't seem like it goes, then I'll skip it and come back to it. So maybe I personify all my jewelry and my clothes that I don't want any of them to feel left out. But anyway, so I'm going to get to working on her hair. And I'll show you what she looks like when she's done. Obviously, I will do a whole photo shoot and everything. Has anybody else been noticing that USPS has been way less dependable? And in particular, priority mail. This is the second time that I've shipped priority, and now it's looking to take longer than regular mail should have taken. So I just went ahead and processed 2 packages to be intercepted and sent to a different post office so that Star Lily can have all those garments that I sent her, because they were supposed to arrive yesterday. And now it looks like they're not supposed to arrive today. And there's no indication of when they should arrive. It just says that they're coming later than they expected. So even shipping priority mail, I feel like I need to give it like more than a week of cushion if something is really needed, which is really annoying if it's going across the country, at least. Can't help but wonder if it's about the regime change and funding, or why the post office is not doing their job so well. And to intercept a package, you basically have to pay the shipping all over again. And the only reason I'm having to intercept these 2 packages is because they did not arrive when they were supposed to. So, yeah. The 2 packages together was about $70, like $34, $35 each, something like that. And it's another $34 each to intercept them. So, yeah. Gotta pay double for their mistake. Once again, I'm just going to show you the progress at different stages of this doll being completed. I love how her hair turned out so much. Now all she needs is her bows before her photo shoot. And for this day, I chose the main section closer to the house of this backyard. I left out the very back quadrant and the other side edge because, yeah, I didn't feel like doing it all at once. So I learned to crochet in 1993. We'll just say like that. And I've been watching all these other crocheters, up and coming crochet superstars, making it with huge businesses and huge followings. And I have to admit that I've been a little bit jealous, especially those who've only been crocheting for a couple years. To lighten my mood, I thought I would make some fun memes showcasing just how long I've been crocheting. The year the World Wide Web went public was the year I learned how to crochet. The standoff in Waco, Texas happened the same year I learned how to crochet. Ariana Grande was born the same year I learned how to crochet. Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You came out the same year I learned how to crochet. X-Files first aired the same year I learned how to crochet. I'd been crocheting for 12 years before realizing I could look up crochet stuff online. So I got another wonderful, beautiful comment that I wanted to highlight. It was on the last week's video, chapter 24. The Dabbling Hook said, "Loved so much about this video. Loved that gold top you were wearing at the beginning. Love the creativity of the vest. Love the colors of that pattern test top. And of course, the music singing. and I've been subscribed to Nadelspiel for years and totally missed that doll tutorial. Thanks. And I said, oh my goodness, thank you. I appreciate your comment so much as I'm still such a baby channel. By the way, Nadelspiel that this person says they've been subscribed to, that's the creator of the Nana's pattern, the crochet Nana pattern that I've been using. Here's what I have to ship. I ended up selling one of these Bernies that I already had made, so I grabbed him out of my Bernies drawer. In some far distant chapter of my vlog, you saw me making the shirt that I'm wearing right here. Well, good afternoon. I went out to the post office and I went and did some grocery shopping. And I don't know if my car AC is just not keeping up. Well, I know it's not keeping up, but I don't know if something's wrong with it or what, or if it's just too hot for it to make the car cool in a reasonable amount of time. I basically have to be driving with the AC blowing full cold, full speed for about an hour for me to start feeling comfortable in the car if it's been sitting out in the heat when I start driving. And so just running to the post office and to get some groceries, just being in the car for like 10 minutes at a time. I got back home, I was all sweaty and like uncomfortable, and I'm so sensitive to the heat. So I just felt out of it. I just immediately took a cold shower. That's why I'm on outfit number 2 for the day. I was wearing one of my shirts that I crocheted, one of the low V back ones. And yeah, unfortunately, I'm not recording in that one because I wanted to change and get a cold shower in. So now that I've shipped off that stuff, I have my yarns ready here and my big J hook for starting to make one of my flying spaghetti monsters. Somebody ordered one of my extra large size, it's like that big, to hang from their RV canopy, I think he said. So I'm going to start that now. And then after I make that, then the next thing on my list to make is a pattern test. So another top, a beautiful top to test somebody's pattern. And I'm excited about that. I'll talk about that artist. She goes by Of Mars on Instagram, and I'll have to put a link to her, all of her stuff in the description box, but I'll talk more about that when I get to it. So first, I have this flying spaghetti monster to make, and now I'm going to just chill and do some crocheting. I've signed on to do another pattern test, and this makes quite a few now under my belt. This is my first time testing for Of Mars though, and it is for her fairy top crochet pattern. I'm using all scrap yarns like I like to do, and here are pictures of me crocheting in the car, which is called crochet, of course. But I was crocheting in the car because my partner took us to a Weird Al concert in Modesto. And man, is that guy impressive. He's a great performer. He called it bigger and weirder, and it was in fact bigger and weirder than I expected. I thought I'd take a moment to show you what a quick lunch spread might look like for my family. It's all meats and cheeses and olives. Once again, with a good little to-do list to get to, I just am showing you progress photos. Hello! I thought I'd welcome you into this little section of my room. This is often where I stage things that need to be shipped out. As people purchase things, if they are already made, like this guy, I already have a drawer full of Bernie dolls and birdies. So that was already made and it was just purchased, so I stuck them up here. This is the flying spaghetti monster that I just finished. This is my extra large size. I'm going to have to give this a photo shoot, I think tomorrow morning, when I'm also going to be out there photographing the shirt that I'm working on right now. And if you've noticed, this is where I set up items that I'm going to ship to make a shipping reel. And as you can see, I have a little double, a 2-canvas painting. I did that with my son back when, I don't remember what grade he was in, but yeah. Sunset over the ocean with hearts in rocks. And then this, I never really intended to keep it, but I found it outside my house one day and I thought, oh, it looks like a little stick person without a head. And I just brought it in to show my partner, and that's where it's just stayed. And then my daughter was going to get rid of this. This was from her room. And I was like, I'll just hang it in here. So anyway, I take those down every time I photograph over here. And then a little plug for this book. I found this at the Goodwill years ago, before it was age appropriate for my kids. But I totally recommend this book if your kids are of the age where they need to learn about the sex stuff and the body's changing stuff. This book is excellent. Highly recommend. It's all the information you should know. So, if you're one like me, a parent who wants their kids to understand things and not feel like they have to figure out things on their own and from their classmates, highly recommend reading through that with your kids when you feel it's the right time. This is the yarn. I haven't put it away yet. This is the cotton yarn that I was thinking of maybe using along with all my other scrap balls for the pattern test that I'm doing of Mars. But then I started realizing if I did alternating stripes of, initially I was thinking of doing alternating stripes of this white with the various colorful balls of yarn. I thought that'll be very, very distinctly stripy, and I mean, it's going to be stripy without the white, but I think I thought I would like it better if it was all done in scraps, and I figured I had enough, and I was right. So I only have, I think, one or maybe a couple more rows to do of that, but I thought I'd just show that I like that they called this marshmallow. It's just off-white, but I have 2 skeins of it, so I'll save that for something else. Okay, so I thought I would just show you where I'm at with this. I know I haven't shown you any video of the process of making the progress stuff and process of making this one, but it's gonna fit something like that. It ties, oh, see, I always have to be careful wearing this bracelet because it wants to snag. It'll tie here under the bust. I tried it on last night. I think it's gonna be nice. But then I wanted it longer on me for proportions. I thought I would like the proportion better if I made the body of it longer. So I started with 9 rows, and then I thought, you know what, maybe around 5 more rows. So I've done 4 more, and I think I'll do 1 more before fully trying it on again and seeing if I like that length, and maybe I'll add more if I feel like it. But then I also wanted, this is still on, yes, okay. But then I also wanted to show some of the yarns that are in here, because I do have memories of why I have some of these yarns. So like, let's see, this one here that you can see is sort of green, but mottled with like some sort of steely blue and yellowy colors. So that's this yarn, but this one is more of like a 1 weight. It's finer than the other yarns. So I combined it with this green thread. And this yarn I'll see if I can find my photo back when I first got it. I'll have to correct myself on screen if I'm wrong, but I think it's a combination of cotton and baby alpaca. I don't remember. It's super, super fine though, and it has a little bit of a halo. Can't really see very well there. But this was a birthday gift to me one year, and I've used it in a few different items now. I used it for one of Star Lily's Flower of Life shrugs for myself, along with this yarn. I used these two together. I'll show you what that one looks like. So I still have that one. I made that one for myself for my birthday because this was a birthday gift. And then I also included this, I believe, in this skirt, and that I did as a pattern test. And now it's in this. I don't remember if I've used it for anything else. This one, I just thought was a really pretty yarn. Let's see if you can, it gets these, it's got these little lumpy bauble type things. And it's just a really pretty sort of purple that shifts between like a more bluish purple and a more reddish purple. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I love that yarn. I got that at a thrift, not at a thrift store, at an antique store, and it was a big full spool, like a big cone, and there was a lot of yarn on it, and they wanted 50 cents for it. So that was a steal. I totally snatched that up and wished that there was more like that. And then this is just one that I got from Joanne, I think. I think it's the Kobu brand. And it's one I remember specifically buying this color for making Mothra and her peanuts. This was part of Mothra for a customer who wanted that. And that customer in particular always wants his items to be made out of natural fibers, no like polyester or acrylic. So that's sort of a pretty color, but I bought, I always buy more than I need. So I'll show you what the Mothra looked like with her peanuts. That was like a really cool project. One off for sure. Unless somebody else wants one, then I can make it again. But, and then this one, I was keeping this on hand because I happened to have some I bought this to pair with another yarn to try to replicate a different yarn that I ran out of for recreating over and over this one purple vest that I made from Star Lily's Flower of Life Faye Vest pattern. That one particular purple variation that I made got really popular, and I made a bunch of them. People kept asking for it. So I was looking for ways to kind of recreate the looks of some of the yarns that were in the original that I didn't have access to anymore. So I was using this and pairing it with one of those, that purple sequin yarn that you've seen me use before. I had dark purple. And at this point, I don't remember if I'm out of that or not. But that's why I had this. So I don't know. I have memories attached to yarns and why I have them from various projects. I don't know. I think that's kind of fun. Is that fun to learn about? Or should I shut up about that in the future? Anyway, so I'm going to get to crocheting on this one more row. And how about I show you in a time lapse, because I haven't shown you any yet so far. But yeah, just another quick gander. That I only had a tiny bit of this orange, so it's only in the very center of the cups. And since I only did one row is going up and back down. So it's actually 2 rows thick across here. So then what I did is I did 2 rows of each other color until I was done with the cups. And then I continued on down with the other colors that I had separated out. So then by the time I got to here, that's when I got through all of the yarns that I had. And then here, this yarn, which is so pretty, I'm just about done with this yarn now. It's like used up in this. You can also see it in this row here with the the little pops of color there. From here on down, I'm just repeating all the colors that were already started up here. So yeah. And I only had enough of this blue and this blue for doing these ties. I didn't have enough to start doing any rows in them, so I just used those for the ties. And that's kind of how I'm using up my scraps. I love having lots of scraps available for this purpose. So even like little balls like this, I will save specifically for something like this. And I've got my acrylic scraps and I've got my natural fibers scraps. So anyway, I'll double up, you know, yarns to make them somewhat equivalent when I'm throwing a bunch of scraps together. And you never quite know what you're going to get, but I really love mixing different types of fibers together, different types of fibers or weights even. And as long as I tie off the knots really well and weave in the ends really well, it's usually fine. Okay, I wasn't necessarily going to show you outside of a proper photo shoot, but I wanted it just a little longer to kind of hang down my, maybe past the butt a little bit, and I did it, and I love it. The only thing that I am not sure of is the fact that this tie goes all the way around and you tie it here, but there's nothing like holding the tie to the inside corners of the cups. So I almost would rather just attach a short tie on each corner of the cup and then put the tie through all these loops and then have it actually tie in the back so that the bow is in the back, cinching it in however tight you want it, and then a separate tie in the front just to cinch the corners together. That way this isn't sort of like free sliding on this strap that goes all the way around. Because I feel like if I were to wear this, I would be constantly trying to like make sure that these cups are staying in and not just sliding away from the center too much. So I think I'm going to do those adjustments for myself, and I will let the designer know the changes that I'm doing. So I'll do that now, and I'll photograph it tomorrow morning. Okay, I think I thought of a simpler solution. Instead of doing new ties, how about I just take this and do a tiny bit of like a corset lace up like that, so it can cinch around the body, and then it can also like corset closed right here, and then it is securing the corners together. There we go. And she is finished. I'll do a little pan. And I dug into my old beads. I have a bead box that I have old beads from, like, pretty sure these were from when I was a kid. Little wooden beads that are stained or painted pink. And yeah, I'm a genius. I decided that Lady Gaga's colors are reds, whites, blacks, and like hot pinks. So I'm getting started on Nana. I guess I'll call her Nana Gaga. Probably shouldn't call her Nana Lady. So I'm quite pleased with how this pattern test turned out. Check out Of Mars. She's quite prolific in her designs. She makes really beautiful things, and she puts out a lot of patterns. So the way I decided to tie this, as I showed just a second ago, worked really well. And then here I'm modeling my extra large flying spaghetti monster as well, that has an extra noodle for hanging for my customer. And Willie was freaking out because a thunderstorm was coming, so we could hear that. But I will wrap this up and say, crochet hooks and colors bright, crafting wonders day and night. Join the fun, come see it through, subscribe, and I'll create for you.